Hi everyone and welcome to Let's Talk Brand and Digital, brought to you by the Wrapped Agency. I'm your host Henry McGregor and today I'll be joined by our very own Head of Communications, Emily, to look at the importance of content planning.
Hello.
Emily has experience of working in both on and offline communications across a variety of industries. She heads our content and social media team and has made more content plans than she could probably remember. So Emily, what do we mean by the term content plan?
Okay, so when we're talking about content planning, it's about thinking about all of the different forms of content that we've got available to us and making sure that we're getting the right mix of that content on the right platforms, speaking the right key messages and getting right to the right audiences at the right time. So there's quite a lot of different factors that we need to be considering in a content plan, and unfortunately a lot of marketers never really get to spend the time creating a detailed content plan and updating it and sort of adhering to it. It tends to be quite hit and miss and getting stuff out as and when they have time.
Does every company need one, or is it just for the larger companies?
I'd say that everybody can use a content plan. They don't have to be ridiculously detailed content strategies that take weeks to put in place. It could just be something as simple as a quick spreadsheet, making sure that you're getting the best results from your content. The sort of biggest thing to look at with content plans is actually evaluating the content that you've already got out there. What's working, what's not working, and learning from that. So if you're getting blogs posted out onto your website and then posting that out on Twitter, are you actually sending that right on the right platform? And is that blog actually saying the right content for your audience, or is it just slightly falling on deaf ears? So it's about learning from the content that you've got at the moment and then you taking those learnings to make your content better in the future. So it's not something that only big companies should be doing, but I think unfortunately it's something that only big companies at the moment see value in.
So say I developed a content plan that fits my goals and audience and it's been working for 6 months now. Can I stick with that forever?
No, as we've kind of mentioned on our previous podcasts with Kate, everything changes so quickly, and one of the big challenges that companies and marketeers have is not only keeping up with our platforms but also keeping up with our audiences. So platforms, especially like social media and websites, will be changing rapidly. I would say, weekly, monthly, you're seeing big changes on social and digital platforms, and content marketers need to be aware of those changes because it will change the way that you can promote your content, the way that content is digested, and those small tweaks will have big impacts on your content performance. And actually our audiences are a lot more savvy than we give them credit for. Even people who, one of our clients is a retirement home, and obviously they're targeting retirement ages, and they tend to believe that they're not as savvy and that actually you can stick with one content plan that's going to always be the same. But that's really not true. A lot of retirement aged people are on Facebook or on Instagram, are using these platforms because their grandchildren are on there and regularly updating their content, and it's a great way to stay informed and stay in touch with people. So it's definitely something that you need to be constantly, again I'm going to use the word evaluating, but constantly evaluating how your content is changing, how your audiences are changing, and updating your content plan to reflect that. So it's quite a fluid document. It's not something that you can do once a year and just stick to it. It's something that you need to visit and revisit every month or so.
When creating a content plan, can you sort of create it differently for different channels, or should they be consistent and intertwine?
Okay, so with content plans and with sort of campaign planning, what you can do is have a look at, again, the different platforms and how that content needs to behave on that certain platform. So let's, for example, talk about a blog. So you're wanting to get a blog out there quite quickly about I don't know, I'm going to go with something random like veganuary. So we're promoting some really good recipes about veganuary, even though it's March and I'm way behind on the times of this. But we're promoting a blog about veganuary. Now, how are we going to get that content out on other platforms? Well, on Instagram, it needs to be visual. So we need to be thinking about how we can make that blog content into maybe a little video. So showing the recipes visually and then using the caption functionality to get across those key messages on there. You've got Twitter, which could be short, fast fire messages, pulling out different bits from that blog and then sending out multiple tweets, linking back to the blog for more information for the whole picture. And then you've got things like email marketing and offline marketing as well, which again, everything needs to be tailored to be relevant for that platform. So even though, you've got that sort of one bit of content, I'm air quoting, which no one can see, but that one bit of content or that campaign, which is a post about veganuary and lots of recipes, it's going to be written or visually different for whichever platform you are posting out on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Great.
So if I was sitting down to write my very first content plan, sort of as a marketing executive, you've got to give it to everyone above you in the company, what is the one piece of advice you would give them?
Keep it simple. So for your content plan as the marketeer, you can go into lots of detail. So always think about all of your different target audiences and making sure that you are promoting content with the right messages for the right audiences and getting a good spread of that. Making sure that it's seasonal and well timed. Some audiences might be really interested during commuting time, whereas some audiences might be more interested in the evening or during the working day. So in your content plan, you want to have that kind of detail so you know when you're sending things out and when you should be getting the best results. But really, if you are communicating your content plan up to the sort of senior levels, really all they want to know is what success looks like. What do you expect to be getting from your content in 2-3 months' time? And how are you helping achieve business objectives with that content? So it's not going to be the same document that you're using. It's more about what are your business objectives? How is that content going to help you achieve that? And how are you going to measure that? And that's the kind of wording that they're interested in. So I know at Wrapped we have again a very detailed spreadsheet, and quite a few of us will get together and talk about what kind of content we're doing, do audits and workshops and strategies to make sure that we have all of this information. But then actually for our board, it's a weekly report about these are our objectives from our marketing and this is the kind of results that we're getting. So it's very different format.
What's your one favourite bit about content planning?
It's a difficult question. My one favourite thing about content planning, I think, my one favourite thing about content marketing is how fast content and the digital platforms change. So every few months it's doing something new. So I really like how exciting it is. And I also really do like being able to quite clearly, using digital, analyse the response and learn from what you're doing as well. It's great to do good looking leaflets and brochures and newspapers, which we do, and I get involved in that, and I really enjoy doing the sort of actual design and real hard copy stuff you can touch kind of things. But then what I really like about digital is that fast real-time feedback,
constantly changing.
So I guess it depends on offline or online. So online I like the quick responses, but then offline I love to be able to hold something that looks really good and sounds great
in the real world.
And be able to keep handing it out and get real feedback from people face to face as well. And again, sort of going back to the content plan, it's something to also bear in mind is your offline content and what's happening with that. So if you know that there's going to be a mail out going out, it's timing your e-news around that, it's timing your social media around that. So if you're a digital marketer and you know there's someone out there that's like business development or anyone dealing with the offline stuff, then you need to get in touch with them and work with them closely on it, because you need to make sure that your business is communicating as one voice regardless of the platform. It's something that really needs to be very integrated.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all we've got time for today. Thank you for coming, Emily.
Thanks for having me, Henry, and
so-
thanks for my third podcast. It wasn't too scary.
A lot of really helpful tips, and we're excited for the next one that'll be coming out in a few weeks' time as well. If you've got any suggestions on what you'd like to hear about, then just message the Wrapped official accounts on any social media platform, and please subscribe and share. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.